As I mentioned in my recent video about Japanese words of Portuguese origin, the Portuguese were the first Westerners to make contact with Japan, and as a result, numerous words of Portuguese origin entered the Japanese language. The next group of Westerners to leave their mark were the Dutch. They arrived in Japan by accident in the year 1600 when they were en route to the Dutch East Indies, but were shipwrecked on the island of Kyushu after a disastrous voyage. And I mean totally disastrous. Out of 5 ships, only 4 survived, and on the 5th ship, only 24 out of 110 crew members survived. But out of this disaster came a long trade relationship between Japan and the Dutch. The shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu granted the Dutch East India Company permission to open a trading post in 1609. They and the Portuguese were both present in Japan until the Portuguese were expelled in 1639, as Japan entered a period of national isolation. The Dutch became the only Westerners allowed to have a presence in Japan for over 200 years, though they were forced to move from Hirado to Dejima, a man-made island off Nagasaki. So all information and influence from Europe, like Western technology, science, and medicine, came via the Dutch language. This transmission became known as Rangaku, literally Dutch learning, and Japanese scholars who learned Dutch in order to read imported scientific books were known as Rangakusha. Why weren't the Dutch locked out of Japan like other Western countries were? One reason was that they did not try to spread Christianity like the Portuguese did. They were strictly concerned with trade. Though the Dutch presence was small and was limited to Dejima, numerous Dutch loanwords entered the Japanese language, and many of them are still used today.